Hello and welcome to Banner Navigation Training from the Office of Information Technology at Montgomery College. In this training video, we will discuss basic navigation techniques for Banner, ranging from logging into Banner and how to utilize some of the functionality like menus, buttons, and icons. So let's get started, but before we begin, I do want to take some time to discuss some of the security information around how we need to keep our Banner data safe. Because of the sensitive nature of the data in Banner, it is your responsibility to protect the confidentiality of the college's data. Some examples of this confidential data are shown here. For instance, any personnel records, any records with PII or personally identifiable information, credit card data, student information that has not been identified as directory information. These are just some of the examples of confidential information. Certainly, if you have any questions about data security, you can always contact our IT security team. Here are a few guidelines for best practices on secure data handling. This includes being familiar with the college's policies on confidential data management and security. Being aware of phishing attacks, which try to get your login credentials. And finally, using multi-factor or two-factor authentication. Soon we will be using this throughout MyMC, as well as what we are currently using with Office 365 or VPN. Two-factor authentication using Duo increases the security of our credentials. It adds a second level of verification into the accounts that we use. We also want you to be aware that when accessing Banner, you should limit exporting and storing Banner data outside of Banner. IT has made Banner available within the college network or via VPN or secure wireless. Be aware of the three classifications of data, each of which requires specific protections: highly sensitive or confidential data, sensitive data, not sensitive or public data. Always avoid using unsecure public wireless locations when accessing Banner. And finally, remember that FERPA training is required for all users who access Banner, and that training is available in MC Learns through MyMC. So with all that said, let's get started and take a look at Banner. If you are not already familiar with the previous versions of Banner, like Banner 8, for example, here are some of the new terminology changes. We'll have a slide that goes into this a little bit more detail. There are new buttons and icons, and we'll talk about those when we look at some of the Banner pages a little bit later. The first screen that comes up when you log into Banner is what we call the welcome screen or the application Navigator. And if at any time you have any questions about what the college's plans are with Banner, you can visit our website. The address is located here. That website will be kept up to date with the latest information for you to know what's happening with Banner at the college. Banner is very intuitive and user-friendly. The navigation flows easily from page to page. Key components such as icons and the sidebar menu move with you as you navigate. All current browsers are supported, but at Montgomery College, we're asking users to stay with the latest versions of Chrome and Firefox. Finally, the browser back and forward navigation buttons should not be used to navigate Banner. Rather, you should use the buttons within Banner itself to navigate from page to page. Here are some of the terminology changes between Banner 8 and Banner 9. I'd like to point out specifically the Go button, which is new in Banner 9. And this is how you move from the key block into the Banner pages. As mentioned, Banner is seamless through MyMC, so you do not have to remember separate passwords. Simply log into MyMC to access Banner. Note that we will be launching the Duo multi-factor authentication for MyMC. So keep that in mind, that when you log into MyMC, you will be asked to authenticate using Duo as well as your credentials. Also note that Banner is accessible only within the college network or via VPN or secure wireless within the college campuses and buildings. So if you are working from home, for example, you will not be able to access Banner unless you use VPN. When you log into MyMC, you will find the icon to use to access Banner. All users who have access to Banner, regardless if they're employees, faculty, or student workers, will have access to this icon. After you get into Banner, the welcome screen application Navigator will be displayed. There is a sidebar on the left-hand side, and on that sidebar menu, there are some key buttons and icons that I want to point out. First of all is the very top icon, which is the menu icon. You can click this button to toggle between the sidebar menu and the main menu. The sign out button or icon, this is identified with a lock. The home button or the dashboard button, dashboard icon, this is how you return to the welcome screen no matter where you are when you're navigating in Banner. And finally, the help icon is where you can find online help for Banner pages or keyboard shortcuts. And we'll talk a little bit about that in just a little bit. From the welcome screen or the application Navigator, you can access Banner in 4 ways. These are located either on the sidebar menu on the left or in the middle of the screen where you see the search field. First of all, the applications icon. You click this icon to open the Banner menu. You locate the page that you need, select the desired entry, and then click enter. The search icon, this will open a search panel. From there, you can either enter the descriptive name of the page or the Banner acronym of the page. The recently opened icon, this is where you can go to display a count of pages accessed since you've logged into Banner. Any page that you've accessed in the current session will be displayed under the recently opened icon. By default, no pages are opened when you log in at first. Until you access at least one page, the recently opened icon is inactive. Once you've accessed at least one Banner page, then the recently opened icon will be activated, accounts will be displayed, and then you can click on that to open the pages that you're looking for. And finally, the search field in the middle of the screen. This is another way to search, similar to the search icon on the sidebar menu. You enter the descriptive name of the page or the Banner acronym, find that desired entry, and then click enter. Keep in mind that the search field here in the middle of the screen does not travel with you. It's only located on the welcome screen. The sidebar menu, for example, on the left, does travel with you as you navigate through Banner, so you may feel more comfortable using the search on the sidebar panel. As we work with the Banner pages, either adding data, making changes to data, so forth, you will probably see messages displayed in what we call the Notification Center. This is located in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. The Notification Center will indicate alerts or informational messages, and they are all color-coded. There's 3 alert levels, and there is 1 informational level. The blue messages are informational. The green, yellow, and red are the alert levels. Green for success, yellow for warning, and red for error. Here's an example of some of the notifications that you will encounter. The green simply means that everything was successful, and it's just notifying you. In this case, it's notifying us what files were created when we ran a process. The yellow is a warning, so some items were not able to be completed when we did our last action, and this will tell us exactly what it was able to do and what it was not able to do. And it's very intuitive, and it tells us exactly what we need to know. The red messages, of course, are fatal errors, and this means the actions have stopped. So what we were trying to accomplish could not be done, and this error will be informative and tell us exactly what it could not do. And as I mentioned, the blue informational messages simply just tell us that there's something that we need to know and be aware of, but nothing is wrong, and we can simply just click this to exit the message. So the first thing we're going to look at is the applications icon, and this is located on the sidebar menu. So from the applications icon, when you click that, it will open up into the applications menu. One of the things that we will see here are the banner menus, banner and my banner. The my banner is a way that we can set up pages that we access the most. So for example, if I access all of these pages that you see on this slide on the right-hand side, I can set up this customized menu so that I have my own menu of items and pages that I access the most. Each user is able to customize their own My Banner menu. This is done through GUA PMNU. And as you can see on the slide, the right-hand side is where you will enter the objects or the page names that you access, and you will be able to set that up for yourself. So not to be confused with personal links. So while My Banner will be a way that we can create personalized menus to link to banner pages, the personal links are a way that we can link to any web page that is non-banner. So for example, if there's a page in the college website that we want to access quite often when we're doing our work, we can create a personal link to that. And so it will be very easy for us to just use these menus to navigate to our personal links and be able to click on that link. It will open up into a separate tab. Of course, our banner session is kept active in a separate tab, but the links here will open up in a separate tab in the same browser and allow us to toggle back and forth between them. So just like the banner, the My Banner menu, we can customize our own personal links. We do that in the banner page GUAUPRF. And when we get into that page, we will simply click on the My Links tab at the very top, and then we can access the links and set those up accordingly. So as an example, I have set up here a link to Home Depot. Of course, this isn't something that I would probably use, but it's just an example to show you how this is done. So the description, I can enter whatever I want, something that tells me exactly what that link is going to do. So for this case, Home Depot. And then the URL needs to be formatted properly and has to be a valid URL. And once I enter that, I can save this. In the notification center, which will show up in the upper right-hand corner, but for the slide, I've shown it here in the middle. It will tell us that it successfully was able to save the changes. And then it will also give me an informational message telling me that I need to keep in mind that any hyperlink description changes are seen only after I've exited out and logged back into Banner. So when I made this change to my personal links, I wouldn't see that change until I logged out and logged back in. So as we navigate the menus, we can certainly click on the applications menu, the applications icon rather, and that will open up into the menus. This is how we would access either My Banner or Banner. So in this case, I'm on My Banner. And when I click on My Banner, it will then bring up the pages that I access. And I showed you earlier how you can define this for yourself and customize it. Now to collapse a menu, I would simply click on the left arrow next to My Banner to close that, and it brings me back to applications. Now if I want to get into the Banner menu, I would click on Banner, and then that would get me into the Banner menu. And from there, I can navigate through these menus. I can go through the different modules, go into the student module, find the page or the form that I'm looking for, click that, and then access it. So here I'm going deeper into the student menu, and then I can access that page. Now, anytime you're in a menu, such as the applications menu, to close the menu completely, you would want to click on the menu icon in the upper left-hand corner. To collapse the tree, as I mentioned before, you click on the left arrow. And to open a page within the menu, you simply click on the page name. The recently opened icon is, again, where we would go to access the pages that we've accessed in the current session of Banner. Once we log out of Banner, the pages that we've accessed will reset back to 0. So by default, when you log into Banner and have accessed no pages, this recently opened icon is not active. There will be no number and you will not be able to click it. Only until you've accessed at least one page will this be displayed. It will show the number, and then when you click on it, it will then show the page or pages that you have accessed in that current session. And to access that page again, you simply click on the page. So we mentioned the search icon is a way that you can search for Banner pages within a Banner session, and that is located on the sidebar menu. So when you click on the search icon, it will open up into a search panel. You can enter either the partial page name, the 7-letter code for the page or the acronym, and any keywords. Entering a keyword will return all pages that contain that word. To close the search panel, again, as I mentioned, you just click on the menu button at the very top. That will bring you back to the sidebar menu. And if you want to return to the main menu, you will come to the more descriptive menu that you see on the right. And that's exactly the same as the sidebar menu. It's just expanded to explain what those particular icons are. The search field in the middle of the screen, this is available on the welcome page only. This is the fourth way that you can enter pages get into pages for Banner. Again, like the search icon, search icon, you can enter keywords, the page descriptions, or the 7-letter codes. So once we enter a Banner page, so for instance, this Banner page is called Spaden, and I see that on the Banner header located here. So this is the general person identification page, Spaden. It will also come up to the key block, and I know that I'm in the key block because it's asking me to enter someone's ID, and I see the Go button. The Go button is a very good indication that wherever you're sitting right there, if you see a Go button in that particular block, that means you're in the key block. The key block is just asking us to input someone to search for, and we usually just type in the person's M number if we know it, and if it finds a match, it will display the user's name, and then we can click Go to activate the page. So in this particular case, I entered the M number shown here. That brought up the user who is associated with that M number. I clicked on Go. I'm now in the Banner page. Now, once I'm in the Banner page, it will display the user's information. However, if I, at this point, realize that this is not the person I'm wanting to look for, I do have a way to start over or roll back. So the Start Over button is replaced. The Go button was replaced with the Start Over button here, and that will allow me to roll back to the key block, and then I can enter someone else's M number and the right person, and then hit Go and repeat the process. Notice that in any Banner session, or any Banner page rather, the save icon is located in the lower right-hand corner. So this is a little bit different than some previous versions of Banner, but for all Banner pages, the save is located in the very same spot. You can also use F10 as a keyboard shortcut to save. Also at the very bottom, you will see the table field name and record count displayed. So returning back to the key block, there's a couple of ways that we can search for people, and I'm going to show you the longest, what I would call the longest way first. So this would access the person search through the search icon or the ellipses that you see next to the ID field. When you click on that, it will bring up an option list. From there, you can choose person search, and we can then search for the person that we're wanting to search for. I'm pointing out the plus button here. This is how you would actually create or generate a new ID for a person. You don't want to do that if there's a possibility that the person does exist in Banner, because that would create a duplicate PITM. So you want to make sure that you do a thorough search before you would create a new person in Banner. So we'll walk through the person search. So in the person search, it will then bring up a couple of different filters that are pre-built. This is the basic filter, and we also have an advanced filter, but the basic filter is predetermined with the fields that we would be searching most for: ID, last name, first name, middle name, so forth. We can also always add additional fields using the button here to add another field. And once you enter the search, you would then hit the information that you're searching for. You can then hit go. And if it finds a match, it will display the match. We may have multiple hits, and I'll show you what that would look like. Here is another way to search, however. This is the quick name search. So with your cursor located in the ID field, you would simply hit tab, and then that would open up into another field where you can enter the person's last name, comma, first name, and you can use wildcards. We could use wildcards in the other search as well. So if we don't know if the user's name ends in a Y or an I, for example, we can use a wildcard so that we can bring up the person that we're searching for. Sometimes it might bring up multiple results, as I mentioned before. And if that's the case, it would bring up another screen that would show us the multiple matches. We would click the button to see the results. We can also narrow our results by entering more information about the persons. For instance, we could put the name of the city that the person lives in, state, zip, so on, and that might narrow down the search for us. And as I mentioned, it's very important to search thoroughly before you create people, because we don't want to create duplicate records. In the Banner pages or forms, we have different sections and tabs. We are looking here at the Banner page Spaden, and in this Spaden page, we see 4 sections: identification, person, non-person, and ID and name source. And at the top, we see tabs: current identification, alternate identification, address, telephone, and so forth. However, in these sections, we have specific functions. So if we need to insert records, delete records, copy, or search or filter records, we can do that using these specific function keys. I'll show you those here in just a second. So here I am on a different form, and I'm on the campus and college tab. And if I want to go to a different section, so right now I'm on the campus restrictions section, but if I want to go down to the college restrictions section, I can always click into the specific tab if I want to, using my mouse. Or at the very bottom in the lower left-hand corner, there are previous section and next section buttons. Those are identified as an up arrow and a down arrow in the lower left-hand corner of every Banner page that happens to have multiple sections. And that's how you can move from section to section. Filter is one of those functions that we mentioned, and that brings up the search. So here again, we have two different filters, a basic filter and an advanced filter. So in this particular form or page, I'm looking at different detail codes and descriptions. If I happen to want to bring up just the folks who have detailed codes or detailed descriptions of tuition state, I just would enter a filter, and once I type in that criteria, I can hit go, and then the only thing that I would see here would be the descriptions for tuition state. So that's a way that you can filter within a banner page. At the top of the banner pages, we see the banner headers, and on the banner headers, we see a couple of buttons in the right-hand corner. These are the related button and the tools button. The related button will show any pages that happen to be related to the current page that I am on. There's a search function within the related so that you can search for the pages that match what you're looking for. And then you can click on the page that happens to match what you're looking for. The tools button on the very far right. This is where you can go to access some of the functions that we found to print. You can clear data, clear records, export data. Many different functions are located here under tools. Online help, as I mentioned before, is located on the toolbar, on the sidebar menu. And the help icon is, even though it's on the welcome screen, you get more detailed help from the help icon when you're in a banner page. So when you click on the help icon, it will bring up a menu for help. Two options here, page help and the application navigator keyboard shortcuts. The keyboard shortcuts are a way that you can access the functionality on the welcome page using keystrokes rather than mouse clicks. Page help, this is only active when you're on a banner page, so it will not be active when you're on the welcome screen. But if you're in the form Spaden, for example, and you click on page help, then it will open up the page help for the Spaden page. From here, you can search for things within the banner page, Spaden page, or you can print the help if you would prefer a hard copy. Lastly, we want to make sure that everyone logs out or signs out of Banner and doesn't just close the browser. This is very important so that you fully close or fully log out, sign out of your Banner session, and then from there you can certainly close the browser, but do sign out first. If you have any specific questions about Banner, you can always contact our IT service desk at itservicedesk@montgomerycollege.edu. Help is also available via web chat or by phone. And again, if you have any questions about Banner that could be answered on our Banner website, the website is located here, and we will keep that up to date with the latest information about Banner. Thank you very much, and have a good day.